Okay, well, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking out the bearing on the steering stem as well as the races on the steering head. I did get a new tool, this Motion Pro steering stem bearing tool. This is really not the one that I wanted. The one that I wanted was about 1/3 the cost, but it was sold out everywhere. So this kit here has multiple, if you can see this, has multiple adapters for whatever size bearing you're using. So I didn't really have any choice but to buy this. I called Motion Pro, and the set that I wanted, they weren't actually going to get any until March. So I can probably use this, well, I know I can use this on the other bikes to, if I need to do the bearings on those. So today we're going to concentrate on the rigid fork. Now, normally you'd have just have the triple tree with the steering stem on it, but on a Springer, let me show you this. Let me take this off. On the Springer, there is no lower triple tree. It's connected as part of the steering, as part of the fork as it is. So here's the bearing right here. I've already taken the cage off. In order to use this, you've got to clip the cage off and take all the bearings out. So all you leave is the dust cover here and then the bearing. And then we take this tool here and you kind of put it with the threads up over the bearing. And then you tighten these. Oh, let me take this off again. And then you tighten these Allen wrench screws to around the lip of this bearing, and then you put that on and you pull it up. And you'll see what I'm doing when I do that. I'll try to get the camera in there as close as I can so you can see what's going on. So in the meantime, I want to put a little bit of grease on this. I don't need a whole lot. I just want to put some on it so it won't wear out. Put some grease on that. Okay, so you take this piece with the threads up because you have to screw this into this in order to pull it. So now we put this on here and we just kind of, you only want to make this finger tight. You don't want to, really crank this down, because also there is a chance that you could break that lip off, and then you're pounding this out. So we want to you want to kind of turn it as you do it, so you make sure that you get it even. So I gotta actually move this because that's, let me take my glasses off. I can't see up close like that. All right, so we got that. So we'll take a little bit of grease and kind of put it on here. You don't really need grease on here, but all right, so we got this cap that sits on here, and then we're going to screw this on. So I won't put this bearing back in until I clean this fork off, because I have to pack the bearing in, and I don't want to let... Okay, so again, I had to go back and kind of redo this because I didn't actually show you the whole tool. So you take this piece, which is the top piece, and that threads into here. And what it does is at this point here, pushes against this, because remember you have this clamped around the base of the bearing housing there. So once this is screwed in, I believe this is a 19mm wrench that this does. So as you screw this in, you can probably see the, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the bottom of this coming up. I'm just kind of showing you this because I've already taken the race out, the bearing out obviously, but anyway, you go back, this piece here screws in the top. You use a wrench to screw this down, and this will push against the stem. So that's how this tool works. It sit around because it'll collect dust before I put it away. So it looks like it's, I don't know if you can see this, but you can see there's a space under here where it's pulling it up. Let me show you. All right, you can see it, the bearing is up in here. Let me see if I can do this one-handed, but all right, so it's up now. There we go. Okay, so now we can take the dust shield off, and we'll get rid of that because we have a new one. And then, you know, we got to clean this stem off, and there's some rust in the top here that's got to go. So, all right, let me show you the piece in here. So we got that done. All right, so let me tilt this up a little bit so you can see the bearing in here, how it grabs it with this thing like this, and I'll show you. Not quite centered in there, but it did the job. But, you know, not a cheap tool. $154 for this tool, but it beats trying to pound it out with a drift or a screwdriver. And there's the bearing, what's left of the bearing, because you got to cut the cage off in order to get that out. So then this, we can clean this off. And we use the same tool to put the bearing in, but we take some of the pieces off, and we use one of these cups, depending upon the bearing, to put the bearing in. And like I said, once I clean this off and I'm getting ready to, let me turn this up. Once I clean this fork off and I'm getting ready to reassemble it, after I pack the bearing and everything, then I'll show you how to put that back on. So let's move over to the front of the bike, and we'll take the races out. Okay, so here we are at the front of the bike. Here is the tool that I'm going to use. This is from OTC, and at the end of the video I'll give you all the part numbers for all the tools that I'm using if you want to get this apart. So I've already taken the top race out. You can see there's some rust in there, so I'm going to try to clean it up with some steel wool before I put the other race in. So in the meantime, here's the race that's coming out. Hopefully that won't smack that, but what you do on this is you take this, and there's a lip right here, and you kind of put it in there like that. And you don't really want it really tight, but you want it, you know, that's good enough so it's going to move. Let me see if I can find out. I used the 3/8 extension, but you can see I kind of marred it. But anyway, you catch the lip of this thing, and you can see it pretty good in there. Actually, let me show you. So if you can see in there, you can see the lip on each side, and that's what you have to get with a tool, whatever one tool you use, whether you want to drift or whatever you're going to do. And then you just kind of bang it like that. Okay, so here's the race. Doesn't look too bad. I don't think we're going to see, let me get my flashlight. Yeah, if you can see up there, see there's rust up in there too. So we're going to have to try to get that out. So I don't know if that's rust up there or grease. Looks like it might just be grease, but we'll clean this out fairly good before we put the new race in. Yeah, there's a little bit of rust on there. Looks like just some surface rust though, but anyway, you get the idea of that tool. You lock it in underneath this lip, just keep hitting each side and it works its way out. The top one is a little kind of the same. You can see some of the little bit of rust. We'll take some steel wool around that. All right, so you kind of take the race and you put it around this like that. I got to grease this thing here, and that sits in there like that. Okay, so editing this video, I realized I actually didn't even show you what this tool, you know, how this tool works. So you have these pieces here. You have a couple of the cups that you use. So now the races are in here, so this thing is going to sit, you know, the race obviously won't be in, so it'll sit like that. So let me get another race and I'll show you. So if you were putting a race in, you're going to face it, you know, around like that. And then you're going to sit it on top here, okay? But with this, I don't have enough hands. All right, so on the bottom, you take this piece here. Now, I don't know what the difference is in the top and bottom. See how one is like cut out up here? They both have a lip, so it's only going to put the race in as far as this lip is. So I don't think it matters. I've got a message into OTC right now to ask them what the difference is. But you put this cup in, you put it like that. You put this piece down, put that down. And then you tighten this down. Now, what I would recommend is when I did this, I did both races at the same time, and it was a royal pain in the ass. In fact, the bottom one I had to take out because it was going in crooked. So I would suggest that you only do one at a time. Do the top or then do the bottom, whichever you want to do first. And then you just take a wrench and you tighten this down, and it's either going to pull it up from the bottom or pull it down from the top. But it just seems to me like it's too difficult to do both at the same time. So you're probably better off doing one and then swapping it around and doing the other. But anyway, that's how this tool works. I didn't show it in the video. I don't know why, but I probably had the camera at a different angle. So, all right, so let's move on with the rest of the video. And then you take the other race, which goes on here. Now you can do just one. You don't have to do both at the same time. And you just want to center these. They're pretty self-centering, so let me... Okay, so here's the tools. If you're interested in it, this is a steering stem bearing tool from Motion Pro. Did they give a part number on here? I don't know if there's a part number on here or not. But anyway, it's the one that has the 5 or 6 adapters on it. Maybe there's a part number over here. I think that's Amazon's part number. I don't think that's Motion Pro's. Anyway, that's what that one is. The steering neck bearing race remover is OTC. This seems to work really well. I really like that. Although this was $40 on Amazon, but I've seen them like $19. So check around if you want this. And this is part number 4796 from OTC. And then we have another OTC product, 4892. This is the steering head bearing installer. Now, what I would recommend is you only do one race at a time. You can do one race at a time. You don't have to do both. Doing both just seems like it takes a lot to pull both those races in. I probably should have done one at a time, but they say you can do both of these at the same time. So, okay, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Next video should be, I should have everything cleaned off, try to get as much rust off as I can. I don't think I'm going to send anything out to be re-chromed. I'll have to really look at it, and I've got to work on the springs, and I've done some cleaning on it, but I'll have to do some more. Maybe I can get more rust off. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe, leave me some comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.